In the 1980s, Japanese automakers aggressively exported their cars to the United States. American workers who felt their jobs were in jeopardy began smashing up Japanese cars. In addition to providing low-cost but high-quality cars, Toyota began giving top priority to making sure that the plants they established overseas were accepted by the local communities. 20 years after the experience of that trade friction, Toyota has taken up a new challenge in the American market. This is an extremely popular American car race. It's broadcast nationwide and 75 million people watching. But the cars running in this race are all pickup trucks, which have been called the soul of America. Deciding to enter this field, Toyota launched its production of pickup trucks at their Texas plant. Pickup trucks are deeply rooted in Americans' lives, being used for everything from leisure activities to agricultural work. The so-called Big Three U.S. automakers have monopolized 90% of this huge market, selling 2.5 million pickups annually. Entering this market might cause new friction, so Toyota had been putting off launching its pickup truck business.
May stick with Ford.
Why?
Well, it's an American brand, and I support America.
But you never think about owning the Toyotas?
No.
Why?
Because she'll beat me up.
We're Chevy family.
For Toyota, it was the last great untouched market, but entering it required a greater consideration than ever of American sensitivities. Toyota invited influential local people to become its suppliers, seeking to build a strong bond with the local community. Hero Assemblers, with 26 employees, assembles tires and wheels in a section within the Texas plant provided by Toyota. Ray Romero is the president of Hero Assemblers. He's a lawyer with strong connections and influence in the local community, but he has never worked for a manufacturer of any kind.
Okay, very good. How's things going?
Toyota has 18 suppliers for its pickup trucks. 4 of them are owned by influential local people in San Antonio. The assembly of tires and wheels is provided by a company owned by Romero. The seats are produced by the former owner of a local pizza chain with 250 stores. Dashboards and meters are supplied by the owner of a company installing telephone lines, and interior doors by a food retailing company owner. None of them had any experience in manufacturing.
It was helpful to involve local business people here so that it's not just a company from outside coming in to establish a plant, but to have actually local connections. And yes, I think that was very important, and I think that was a very smart decision.
2 Japanese staff were sent to Hero Assemblers from a Toyota affiliate to provide technical support.
Got her back on the saddle. Asked her to make sure.
Yet other workers were entirely inexperienced in manufacturing, so Toyota's priority was to train them thoroughly before the start of operations. In recent years, Toyota has accelerated its international expansion. This has been in response to the rapidly growing demand for vehicles in newly emerging markets. In 1995, Toyota had 26 overseas plants. Now the number is twice that. It doubled its number of overseas plants within 10 years. And it's planning to build 4 more by 2008. The number of cars produced has also dramatically increased. The production target for 2006 was 9.06 million units, which was within 100,000 units of GM, the current #1 automaker. While the number of production bases is expanding around the world, a new approach has been taken to transfer Toyota's manufacturing skills. This is Toyota Thailand. It produces 470,000 cars per year. This is the main training center at Toyota Thailand, called GPC, or the Global Production Center. It's a large facility built only for training in production processes, such as welding, coating, and assembling. The purpose of the GPC is to develop non-Japanese trainers who can train non-Japanese workers in Toyota's skills without the need for Japanese trainers. As the number of overseas plants keeps increasing, it's becoming more difficult for Toyota to send Japanese trainers to every plant. For further expansion overseas, it has become necessary to train many more non-Japanese trainers. Three GPCs were built in Thailand, the United States, and England. At the centers, Toyota plans to place non-Japanese trainers who have advanced production skills. Skilled workers selected from nearby countries will come to a GPC to be trained by the trainers. Then they'll go back to their countries and train other workers there. It's one approach for passing on Toyota's skills without the need for Japanese trainers. New manuals were also made in the local languages so that all the techniques can be accurately taught to non-Japanese workers who speak different languages. This scene is from a video manual showing a technique demonstrated by a Japanese worker. The manufacturing skills and techniques Toyota has built up are collected in the manuals to pass on to overseas workers. The trainers teach technical skills to non-Japanese workers at GPCs. A Thai, Prateep Kurase Som, was chosen as a candidate to become a trainer's trainer. Prateep is dedicated to the coating process, and Toyota has highly evaluated his skills. He joined Toyota after graduating from a technical school. That was 14 years ago. Toyota Thailand gives caps at promotion ceremonies to motivate its employees. That's also what Toyota Japan does.
ภูมิใจนะที่ได้ทำงานอยู่ในโตโยต้านะครับโดยเฉพาะหมวกใบนี้เนี่ยมันเป็นก้าวที่ผมกำลังจะพัฒนาตัวเองไประดับหนึ่งซึ่งมันเป็นรอยต่อของช่วงจังหวะชีวิต